Alright, it took me several minutes, but I got one side temporarily sewn, and it's just a basic running stitch, so in and out, in and out, in and out. And I want that a little bit better fastened, but I guess I cut it a little too short. That'll just do for now. So pushing this back over here, I'm starting at the bottom because leather tends to stretch, so it'll kind of stretch upwards if I start down here. Just a little tip, FYI. And I'm only doing just a couple at a time. That will allow me to make sure that slipped. And make sure all my holes line up, front and back. Come on, get in there. My number two, okay. Pushing this back over. Make sure I get my 3. And my 4. And my 5. And that did not go all the way through. I'm just going to get my head in the way here. So I'm going to turn my wood. There, that, I felt that go in. That went in too. Better. I'm just going to open these up. Make it easier for my needle to go through. I'm just going to do my running stitch. In and out. Take my tail through there so it doesn't go anywhere. Out. I know it's back there somewhere. There, if I line up that edge, it makes it a little easier. It's been, I think, over a year since I've last done my leather work. So it's taken me a little bit to swing back into it. And always starting out is the hardest. So you want to make sure everything is lining up, and with that crease it makes it so it wants to pull away. But once you get it going, it's quite helpful. So this is how I do just the basic sewing. Now this isn't the final sewing. So again I have to cut this all back apart so I can put my belt loop on there. And I can't do the belt loop until I have all of this stuff finalized on where everything needs to lay out. Then I'll come back and talk about doing saddle stitches. Those went all the way through, much nicer that time. Sometimes what angle my wood grain is makes a difference. What I meant by that is my wood grain's running this way. So if I make my punches running this way, I have an easier time getting my awl tip through there versus running it this way. It just kind of helps sometimes. Okay. Went all the way through, so those are nice and straight, which is exactly what we want. And I'll temporarily fasten that right there. To recheck. It's nice and snug. I'm gonna need to get the leather wet some more. So that way it'll mold a little bit better. There it goes. So it'll stretch right down on there. And then when it dries, it'll shrink. So that's going to leave a really nice, tight fit right there. All right. So now I got to figure out where I want flap to come down. I think I want it to only come down to right about there. Okay. So now I get to design the curvature of what that's going to be. So now this line's going to be where it's going to be cut down to. So I want that to be right about there. Here's just a little bit. or two, but that'll work. So that means here and there. Gotta score that. That's where I'm going to cut it off at. And at those two nicks I made. And there I've got my curve. So I hope you guys can tell how this is kind of going. Oh, that's going to be cut off, and this is going to be cut off right down to there. So, yep. I've got to figure out where I want my snap to be, which I think this looks like a good spot. Which means that snap's going to be right there. Yep, and I'll be back.